Hello and welcome to this GDSLABv2025 tutorial 1.7, how to move GDSLABv2024 onwards files from one PC to another. Now, majority of files, say if you need to upgrade or move from one PC, you're going to need to know which files to bring over, and I'm going to run through all of them today. Now, the first file you might want to move is if your license is not activated, and you'll notice this by seeing a missing license file. Now I've got my hardware ID here, I've copied that in, and in your case you would have given it to our sales department who would have supplied you with your license file, and it will be loaded in your software. There is a video on how to move your license and upgrade. I'm not going to go through that now, but I am going to show you just quickly. I'm going to load in a new license for me. I have saved it on my desktop, so I'm just going to move that to here. And as you can see, it's worked. I've got an infinite max version and everything's working, so that's good. Now the first thing I'm going to go through is the station configuration file, which typically, if I go take out my sandbox, go to my original one, this is my PC, so to speak, that I'm going to move all of my files to. So typically you click load, and then it will typically open the default path of where all of your station configurations are. In my case, it's this folder. It could be different. It's likely to be stations, a few folders up for where I am. But for example, I can take this one. What you can do, you can always click load if you want to, and copy it directly from here, or you can actually go and manually into this file path, which is this. So users, public documents, GDS instruments, GDS lab, and then stations. It might be in examples or further, depending on where you want to go. But anyway, I'm going to copy this. You might need a USB stick. In this case, you would copy it right to USB stick and then to the new machine. Obviously, I don't have to do that because I'm using an emulator. So I'm going to copy it right to here, and I'm going to press load. This is a quick way of doing it. Press load, and I can just paste. Obviously, it would be from the USB stick. I can paste it right in here, and then I can open that. And there you go. That's how to load in a station configuration file. So next, we've got calibration files on number 2, and they are located elsewhere. And as you can see, this file path, the majority of the files that we're moving from is this file path. You can see in GDSLAB for your local disk, users, public documents, GDS instruments, and GDSLAB. Again, calibration files are located in the calibration folder. Surprise, surprise. And again, I'm going to copy one of these and then move it directly to the same folder on the new PC. So if I minimize GDSLAB on the new PC, and then open my file explorer, I am then looking for my local disk, my users, and then public documents, GDS instruments, GDS lab, calibration, and it's going to go right into there. So that's where you want to move your calibration files to. So next on the list is test files, so GTCs and GTRs. Again, this is slightly further down. This is on the data store tab. And again, a quick way to find the file location is to quickly click load, and it should be by default in your tests area. And as you can see, you've got your GTC's files already loaded here. Now, what I do is actually copy this location, but you can actually search for it manually as well. Do make sure though, in this view, it only shows you the GTC files. Don't make the mistake of copying these and not the GTRs, because the GTRs and GTCs come together. You cannot read one without the other. So make sure you copy them together, and that's why it's actually better to go directly to that file location, which I'm going to do now. I've obviously copied that area, and now I'm in the location. You'll see out of all of my tests, for example, I have a resilient modulus, I've got a GTR and a GTC. So when I copy them both over to the new one, let's have a look. Let's see, so into tests, I'm going to copy them there, bang, they're there. Then when I open it in GDSLAB, I will have to reboot GDSLAB though, so give me one moment. So when I load a test in, it's got the resilient modulus there. So it's got the test setup page here and then the data to go with it. And another one you might want to do is the graphs templates, and what this does is it saves information of what these graphs look like. So what parameters you have recording or showing, And yeah, so you can actually save using this button, export, and then you can just name it anything you want. And it does by typically go to GDSLAB images, but I am going to save it to a different area. I'm going to save it into my public documents GDS instruments GDSLAB tests area. So I'm going to save that there. And then again, you can import using this button as well if you wanted to. And they're known as GRT files. So anyway, I'm going to copy this file and I'm going to move it to the same place again in my GDSLAB area. So I'm in tests like before, and I can load that back in. So there you go. Now the last one that you're going to want to know how to move is on the results page, your report. So your save data that you want to export. Now here typically it will be in this folder here, and it actually has a function quickly, but it might by default go to images, but you can save wherever you want to. So for me personally, I've got mine in public documents, GDS instruments, GDSLAB tests, and I've got lots of exports here. Now again, if I take this location quickly, and then I'm going to have a quick look to see where it is. Bang, oh, it's in the same location as before. And I can take as many of these as I want, for example, this many. And I'm going to move it again to the new PC. So again, moving there, we go into this area. We're already in tests, and again, bonk, it will go there. So you can move any of your files here. So this has been how to move GDSLABv2024 files onwards from one PC to another. I've been Matt, thank you.